busy news day here at the newsroom of the Oklahoman. Hi, I'm Dave Morris. Thanks for clicking on the play. It's Tuesday, August 20th. Coming up in today's editions of the play, we'll take a look at some of the stories you can find in upcoming editions of the Oklahoman, including the following stories. We'll have an update on the effort to get storm shelters into Oklahoma schools, and parking prices are about to go up at a popular spot in Norman. But first, big story of the day, 3 teens were charged in connection with the death of a college baseball player. Here to tell us more about these stories and the lineup that you see there on the right of your screen, Nick Trigakis from the Oklahoman's newsroom. Thanks for your time today.
Sure.
Phil O'Connor has been following this story. What is the update?
Yeah, we've had Phil and one of our staff photographers down in Stevens County in Duncan today. And as you mentioned, the charges have been filed in Stevens County District Court. 2 counts of first-degree murder. The defendants there are James Edwards Jr., 15, and Chancey Allen Luna, 16. Now they are, of course, accused of shooting and killing Christopher Lane, a 23-year-old Australian native. He is a baseball player at East Central University in Ada and was in Duncan. And what prosecutors said today was that this was described as an appalling crime. They said that the suspects just decided randomly to target this Christopher Lane, followed him in their car, and shot him in cold blood and killed him. A third teen has also been charged, not with murder, but with being an accessory after the fact for driving the car that the teens were riding in. The 2 charged with first-degree murder are being held with no bail. Bail is set at $1 million on the third suspect, and Phil's going to be covering everything that went on in the hearing today and writing that up for the paper tomorrow.
One of the top stories on newsok.com today, but it's also getting play across the country and across international boundaries. As you mentioned, the player was from Australia.
Yeah, and Australia has, here in the past decade or so, has passed some pretty sweeping gun reforms. And so this, right now, is a very hot button issue for them. There's already been a legislator over in Australia who's called for a boycott of American travel and tourism until they change the gun laws over here. Now that's those are the kind of things you're seeing because they've been impassioned so much by what's happened.
Interesting stuff. Plenty of coverage of this can be found in the Oklahoman and on our website right here at newsok.com. All right, coming up is a story from Tim Willert, and this is another hot button topic, another topic that people have a lot of interest in, and that is Oklahoma City schools. Well, today the state school board of education met today, and what did Tim Willert find out?
Yeah, they took up a request from the Oklahoma City School Board to waive some educational requirements that would allow the Oklahoma City District to bring in an interim superintendent. And so what that kind of says to us is they're looking for someone who isn't an education man, someone who maybe is from a different field to come in, take over for Carl Springer, who's leaving at the end of the month, until they can find a permanent replacement. What sources are telling Tim Willert is that this person that the Oklahoma City School Board is eyeing is Dave Lopez. He's the Commerce Secretary in Oklahoma. He's a business guy with a business background in telecommunications and stuff like that. And what we understand from multiple sources is that come next Monday at the Oklahoma City School Board meeting, they're going to formalize that and announce Lopez as the interim superintendent.
So the changes in certification allows him to be in consideration.
That's right.
All right, speaking of schools, tonight, a topic we're covering at 6 p.m. tonight, an update on school storm shelters, and Juliana Keeping and Greg Singleton will be down there.
Yeah, there's a press conference called at the state capitol tonight, and there's a couple state legislators who are pushing the movement to have storm shelters put in all the schools, and they've called the parents of the students that were killed in the Plaza Towers Elementary School to come stand at this press conference and share their feelings about their desire to have storm shelters put in at all the schools. So, like you said, Juliana is going to be covering that, and we'll have video as well.
It's been the education topic today here on the play, and football season is coming up. Let's talk Campus Corner down at the corner of OU, University of Oklahoma. I'm trying to say Campus Corner. We have a parking story.
Yeah, they recently, Norman City leaders voted to change the parking rates for Campus Corner. They quadrupled them. Now that sounds really bad.
Sounds bad.
But what it is, it's gone from 25 cents an hour to $1 an hour to park there. And there's an interesting little kind of side story here. Previously, you could not be ticketed for not paying the meter after 5 o'clock or on weekends. Well, they've written into the code now a clause where now they can monitor that after 5 o'clock and after the weekends. They're saying they're not going to. Wow. But it's on the books now that they can. So it's something that people probably want to be aware of when they're heading down to tailgate or hang out before the football game coming up.
And speaking of football, the OU Fanfare, big tradition, our Jason Kersey had an update on that today. People were fired up about proposed changes.
This started, I don't even think you could call it a mini controversy. It was a full-scale controversy, I think. On talk radio and on all forms of social media, they had tweaked the music that they play kind of prior to when the band leader, marches in, the drum major, I think is what they call it, marches in on the field, and everyone kind of loves that as a chance to get fired up for the game. And they had tweaked the music a little bit. I heard it. It was different. You could tell it was different.
In fact, we're looking at some of the video that was posted on Facebook and social media, and I think this is what got people fired up, is they saw this practice footage.
The response was so swift that now the university has said, you know what, we're not going to change it. We're going to keep it just the way it is, and I think that's probably going to appease a lot of people.
And that was good PR spin by them as well, by saying, hey, you guys spoke up, we listened, here we go. All right, hey, like I said, a busy news day today. Nick, great job. Thanks for the update.
Sure.
You can find these stories and plenty more in upcoming editions of the Oklahoman and, of course, on our website at newsok.com.